Good morning everybody, my name is Victoria and I am a fine art artist, illustrator, and art teacher, and welcome back to another drawing process this week. This week I'm going to do a voiceover for our process video, and we are going to see how I drew and colored Anya Forger from Spy X Family. But unfortunately, I kind of forgot to record at the very beginning of the coloring process, but you kind of do see a little bit of the sketch over here, and we're gonna kind of jump off a little bit more when I was in the middle parts of the process where I got most of the base color all filled in, and now I'm mostly kind of getting the more vibrant colors out, adding probably 6 to 7 layers of color and kind of just smoothing everything out. So right here I'm just kind of working on the dress. I use mostly Crayola colored pencils for my colored pencil illustrations, and they're actually very good budget and affordable color pencils that anybody can get. They're basically school art supplies technically, so they're very affordable, very easy to get, and the colors come out very nicely despite it being a budget colored pencils. But yeah, so I'm kind of just going in and adding lots and lots of layers, because as you kind of build layer, that's how you're going to make the colors a lot more vibrant. And I'm using the same hatching method. So here's a tip for you guys, where basically hatching doesn't have to be just with pencil. You can actually use hatching on other materials. Like you can use it with charcoal, you can use it with color pencils, and then here, this is a nice little gadget. I kind of have to do this quite a bit, where I have to use my pencil extender to swap out color pencils because the pencils are way too short. I'm gonna get cramps in my hands. It feels very uncomfortable, but the pencil extender was a lifesaver for me, so I really love using these pencil extenders. I'll kind of link descriptions below of like what type of pencil extenders I use. I use Derwent. Yeah, Derwent. So, but yeah, so let's kind of continue and see me color away with the blue there. And for this part of the dress, I used blue, a bit of black, and also what I'm currently coloring with is light blue. For the sleeves over here, I used gray to kind of add in the shadows a little bit, and I'm also coloring very lightly, so the key idea is just not to make it too dark at the very beginning, because you're still kind of looking where the shadows are, and I just like to kind of gradually add in the layers so it's nice and soft and it's very subtle. And over here, we're gonna work on Anya's leg, and I'm also adding shadow to the skin tone. So I already had peach as a base skin tone, and I was adding light brown and also a bit of pink to it, because sometimes the peach tends to be a little bit too yellow. And I will also add a little bit of shadow using gray for the extra little frills on the side of Anya's dress. Yeah. But yeah, no, so there's a lot of like layering, going back to the dress again, just adding more colors as I go. It's a lot of back and forth process, but eventually things would start filling in and the colors will be a lot more vibrant, darker shadows, more accent in between, and then it's going to be a really nice colored dress. despite that I already kind of did the sketch and all that stuff, sometimes even after when I transfer my sketch drawing to the clean version, which is like the final drawing, which is the one that I'm coloring right now, sometimes I actually do have to go back with the pencil just to kind of correct a little bit, just in case I wasn't really happy with the shape of the foot or any other parts of the drawing, and that's okay, because like after that it's probably been a while since I've looked at the drawing, and I did fill up a lot of the other parts of the drawing, so you kind of see the drawing as a whole, and that way you can kind of pick up and see, okay, this part, it looked good before, but now I kind of changed my mind, I might want to change it a little bit more over here. And for Anya's shoes, I use mostly gray and black, since her shoes are more like a kind of like a leather, like black shoes. It's super cute, and sometimes you can add probably a little bit of dark brown if you want like a warmer tone to it, but yeah, peace sign. Yeah. Her hands are so cute to color in. It was actually super fun because they're nice and stubby. But here I'm using peach again. So most of the skin tones I use peach as like the main base tone. Depending on the skin color and tones, usually any characters with like lighter skin tones I would use just peach, and then if there were darker skin tones I might just add a little bit of tan and light brown to it. But just cleaning her thumb up and adding a little bit of shadow at the bottom, adding shadow to the neck, and yeah, back to the hair. Oh sorry, not hair, eyebrow. Haha. Yeah, so like my coloring method, there's a lot of like back and forth and just a lot of tweaking and all that stuff, and eventually as I add all those color layers it would become more vibrant, the drawing, and then the forms and the shapes would look slightly bit more three-dimensional and kind of colored in, and I really love coloring the hair. I think so the hair is my favorite part of Anya, or at least for this particular drawing, I really loved coloring her hair. She has such beautiful pink silky hair. I wish people actually had like pink hair. That would be actually pretty interesting. I don't think it's physically possible though, but hey, you may never know in the future when science blows up and we get lots of really cool inventions where we could actually genetically give people the hair color that they want when they're born. But yeah. Yeah, that kind of went a little bit off topic though, but here I am with the pencil extender, and this part I'm using kind of like a reddish brown color, and then that's actually a really nice color tone for the shadows, because pink, usually once you add a little bit of the shades to it, you can either add black. I'm not a big fan of adding black just to anything, mostly when it's colored pencils, because it blends a little bit differently than paint. So I tend to want to use something that's relatively closer, so if it was a shadow, I'll probably use a neutral color, which is brown, and probably somewhat closer to the warmer side, which is a reddish brown. And the inside of the mouth, I kind of used a similar warm color, since the shadow parts definitely use black and brown, and probably a little bit of mahogany and red, and the tongue definitely is more of a red color. I also added peach because I don't want it too red. I added a little bit of pink, but I tend to use mostly peach and orange, red, and red. Working on the accessories. I still don't know what that is. I have a feeling that Anya has like cat ears at the bottom there, but I don't think so because I don't know how supernatural this show is. I don't want to spoil anything because the Spy X Family show is really good. I really loved it. I finished watching both seasons. If you haven't watched it yet, I would definitely recommend you guys go watching it. It's a super cute and sweet anime. And yeah, let's move on to the background now. So basically what happens here is I'm trying to find the placement of each little star that I want to add because I would want to leave them blank because I'm keeping them white, and it's good to kind of find the nice composition for the placement of the stars because like that way you can kind of have a little bit of balance. But I also kind of added a little bit of those later on even though I colored in the background, so I'm kind of going more at a steady and slow pace. So here I'm starting to fill it in, and I am currently using yellow for the background there. So I'm kind of like adding as I go, filling in as I go, and then I wanted to make sure I cleaned that bottom part because while I was drawing there is a slight bit of smudges, and then the blue kind of dragged in. There's like a light layer of blue, so what happened is that, or what could happen is if you don't clean it, you'll get this like weird green. So you want to make sure you keep your colors very clean, and then the lighter colors tend to get dirty very easily, so the peach, the pink, the yellow, yeah, they tend to kind of grip onto and kind of mix with other colors very easily, so they can get very dirty and then they're not as pure and clean anymore. So, but yeah, there you go. Off I go with coloring the whole background. Oh yes, and here this is where I add a little bit more golden yellow and also a little bit more of the yellow, orange, and orange. So that way it kind of gives a little bit more variety with the yellow tone. It's not just like a plain yellow. I like to add more than just like one color because it's there's so much you could do with all the colors, and it's just fun to kind of play around, even though if it's like very similar or kind of very harmonious. No, that's not the word. Like they kind of blend very well. I kind of forgot the word there. But yeah, harmonious? Is that the word? I can't remember. But anyways, you get what I mean. So they kind of like blend together a lot better, and they kind of create this like really nice, warm, honey-like, glowy color. Yeah, the background took a while to fill in, mostly with like all the layers and all that stuff, so it was a lot of layering back and forth, adding a little bit more orange, adding a little bit more yellow here and there, and just kind of see the balance. So it's good to kind of step back from the drawing a little bit so that you can kind of see the drawing as a whole, because sometimes when you're up close, you don't see that as much. Okay, now last few touch-ups, back to the eyes, and just kind of cleaning the outlines up a little bit before I actually bring this back home. I tend to actually work on my illustrations at different places, because then that way it makes me use my time efficiently. So if when I'm at work and teaching, and if some students didn't make it, then I'll just work on my illustrations sometimes. And here it is, I brought it back home. Now I'm just adding like a few more darker accents and just kind of like cleaning everything up and just doing some minor final touches before I add the highlights for the eyes. So Let's kind of add a little bit of the shadows, tweak a little bit of the skirt / dress, the ear thing. I really don't know what you call that. Shoes, eyes, adding a little bit more of the green to make it more vibrant. That's actually aqua green, sorry. And yeah, here's that nice Dr. P.H. Martin, and it's a type of like white ink. So with colored pencils, I've tried numerous different ways of adding highlight, and so far this one is my favorite. I've been sticking with this for many years and it just works awesome. It dries fast enough and it's very thick, it's very opaque. That's the nice thing I like about it. And it actually grips on and sticks to the colored pencils very well. So sometimes if the paint or like the white paint would be like too watery and it just runs all over the place, but since this is like a type of like white ink, it works really nice, and it's really easy to apply as well. I use like a very small watercolor brush to apply these highlights and details, but it's always so satisfying to add this like final step, because you're like, yes, the drawing is finished and it's ready to have the nice little sparkles and all that. Gotta dab those extra little highlights on there. Whee! But yeah, I usually pick any place that has like a lot of gloss, so her eyes are wet, her mouth is wet, or like at least it's just like it's very glossy and just like a lot of shine on it. The shoe also has a lot of shine on there, and sometimes I add a little bit on the bow ties or any places that I kind of left white. If I forget leaving some places blank and white, I can always add the highlights on top of that. But yeah, there you go. Anya is completed. Yay! But I hope you enjoyed the drawing process of Anya Forger, and yeah, it was a super fun voiceover. I never actually did voiceover for my drawing process though, but it was a nice experience. I might do this more in the future, but please comment below if you guys like the voiceover more than just like having music with the text on the videos though. But yeah, I was really happy with Anya. This was actually prepared for one of my upcoming conventions because I'm creating new prints, and this is the new Spy X Family series. I have Yor done, I have Anya, I have Lloyd done too, and I think I kind of forgot to record the drawing process for that one. I'll take a look and see if I can find anything though, but I'm pretty sure I forgot to record. I was like so busy, but yeah. Thank you again so much for watching this new drawing process video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys liked the video and if you want to see more, please do subscribe, please like the video, and also please feel free to comment if you have any other characters that you like to see, or if you want to kind of have a new tutorial video about more coloring and how to use colored pencils, how to blend with colored pencils and all that. I'll be more than happy to share my knowledge with you guys. And if you guys want to, there is more content on my Patreon. There's more new artworks that I release on there. You get early access and also sneak peeks of current illustrations and paintings and artworks that I'm currently working on. And I also do have extra content for Learning Fuzz tiers and Student Fuzz tiers, where you can get step-by-step process with brief description and also a list of the art materials that I used for the specific illustrations that I created, so you can kind of see from start to finish how I started it, from the sketch to filling in the colors, how I actually blend the colors and all that stuff, and then how I completed it and finished it, and then you can see the final work. And that's it for this week. So wishing you guys a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week ahead, and I shall catch you guys next time. But take care, have fun, remember to practice, and stay creative. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!